Hello YouTube. Today I want to bring a video to all my fellow Element owners on my 2008 Honda Element SC subwoofer upgrade. And I'm also going to walk you through the removal of the center console in the SC model. For the subwoofer upgrade, the service manual does not recommend removing the seats. But since I am installing an amp along with the subwoofer, the amp's going to be located underneath the passenger side seat, so I am going to remove the passenger side seat. While I'm at it, just to give myself some room and some ease of access, I'm going to remove the driver's side seat as well. So I'm going to do this with you guys real time so you can see how I remove this center console. And if I break something, you'll see that I broke it, and try not to do what I did. But for the most part, hopefully we can get through this without breaking anything. And I'll show you exactly what I picked up as far as subwoofer goes and my cabling, so you guys can see what I have. I wanted a subwoofer that was going to drop right in, and I did not want to modify the factory enclosure. So I'll show you guys what I have, and let's go with it. All right, guys, I'm doing a little hand holding here. I just want to show you what I have installed in my vehicle so far. I'm in Florida. It's hot out there, and I'm trying to kill some time. Maybe let the sun go down a little bit before I start this project. So let me just walk you through what I've installed so far. Here I have an 8-inch Alpine. It is the Z928 HD 8-inch. Yeah, this guy here I picked up a couple of years ago, and I took it to a couple of install shops, and because it wouldn't fall right into place with a standard bezel kit, they would not install it. They didn't want to modify anything, so I went ahead and I did install it and created my own bezel out of 2 bezel kits, which doesn't look bad at all. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I lost a little bit of space right underneath the controls, but you know what? It's not terrible. Here, let me just, here you can see I can stick my finger in there, still get to my knobs. So it's not bad at all. I'm very happy with that. I am partial to Alpine. I have been for many years. In fact, since the since the mid 80s. And so it's my brand of choice. And here's also what I did. I also installed Alpine tweeters where the factory tweeters were. I don't have a video on that. However, I should have created a video, but I don't. There you go. And in the door panels, I have 6.5 Alpine component speakers, and those are the 610C S-type speakers. And I'll show you what I have going on in the back doors as well. They are component speakers in the doors, and I'll show you the placement of the tweeters as well. All right, here we go. Hopefully you can see it. It's bright out here. But there's my tweeter. And let me see if I can pop this out real quick so I can show you. There we go. So I can show you the speaker. Oops. There it is. Alpine 610C. And there it goes. Okay. Same with the other side. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, there they go. Overall, I'm very, very happy with the way they sound. Get back in here. I'm very happy with the way they sound. However, I'd like to change the subwoofer. I'm not happy with the bass it puts out. Not terrible. It's not bad now. I'm just not happy with it. I want more. And so, hence the reason I'm doing this upgrade. Eventually, in the future, I may change out the factory amp with something else I found online. It's an Alpine amp, and I believe it will mount in the factory location where the factory amp is now. So without further ado, let's move on. So as I mentioned before, I wanted a subwoofer that was going to drop right in place with little to no modification to the factory enclosure. So Alpine does not make a 6 3/4 sub. It is an oddball number sub, so I found this kicker online based on some reviews and some other users who've installed this on their Element with great success. So I went ahead and I purchased this kicker sub. It is the latest version of this sub. It's a 2 ohm dual voice coil sub, which means each coil is a 2 ohm coil. So I want to do a little unboxing on this, but let's move on to the other items. I picked up a Rockville 8-gauge wiring kit and the 6-foot RCA cables with the 90-degree heads. This one here came with the built-in amp turn-on cable, which is a pretty cool feature. These are made by Scorpion. I also picked up these 6-foot RCA cables. These are triple shielded Platinum Edition by Bull, and I'm not going to need these for this install. However, as I mentioned before, I'm planning on replacing the factory amp, and so I'm going to run these now while I have the dash taken apart, and these are going to be for future. Front, rear, left, and right. Again, they're triple shielded, pretty nice looking cables. So let's put these to the side. Let's unbox the kicker. Hopefully you guys can see this here. Alright, so we have a small booklet here. Not gonna worry about that. We have kicker stickers. We're not gonna use those. And these are blank stickers to cover the screw holes. So let's unbox this guy. It is small. It's very small, 6 3/4. But it looks like a really nice sub. It's got the push-in wire push-ins for the cables. Again, each coil is 2 ohm. I'll be wiring this in parallel to get 1 ohm. And I mean, you can tell by the size of my hand, it's not very big. But I'm hoping I can get some pretty decent sound out of this. Here, see if you guys can get a closer look. It's really cool. It's got this red stitching in here. I've never seen that in a stub. And here's the screw holes, and that's where these blanks go in to cover your mounting screws. I'm probably not going to use that since it's going to be enclosed. All right, let's put this guy to the side. Let's check out the 8-gauge wiring kit. I almost forgot to show you guys the amp I'm using. But anyway, yeah, these come with 17-foot long RCA cables, which I'm not going to need. Let's just button this real quick here. I'm not going to need these, at least not for this install. Maybe for something else in the future. And I went with this kit only because they advertise these to be oxygen-free, pure copper wire. And, okay. Alright, so here's a 17-foot RCA. Not going to need that for this install. We have our speaker wires, which I believe are, gosh, this is a mess. Okay. Not sure if you can see this. I'm going to try and get close. Yeah. It's hard to focus on the copper core, but, and it is a very flexible 8H cable, so you can route it easily through your car. We have a 3-foot ground cable, again, very flexible. And of course the amp turn on, which I'm not going to need for this install. Okay, I'm just going to put this to the side. And speaker wire, which looks like it is a 16 gauge wire. I'm also not going to need this for this install, as I'm using 14 gauge for the sub. So really I just bought this kit for the power cable and the fuse holder and the ground cable. So I'm going to put you guys on hold just for 1 second, and I'm going to go get the amp. Okay, here we go. Back on a bench. So what we have here is Alpine. Yes, Alpine, of course. So this is the M250 Class D amplifier. It is a very small amp. It puts out 200 watts, 250 watts RMS. Here's the model number. So this should be plenty for pushing that subwoofer, and certainly plenty for my needs. So this is an 8x8 amplifier. I am going to try to squeeze this underneath the passenger side seat. I may have to make some minor modifications, but that's where this is going to go. So here we have, from the mounting end, let me just show you the feet, the mounting feet. We have 8 inches from end to end, and width-wise we have 8 inches as well. So 8x8. Hopefully we can get this baby mounted underneath that seat. Here's what it looks like. It does have the remote control opening or slot for the base remote. Unfortunately, I do not have that base remote. Maybe in the future I'll pick one up, but I don't have that today. So that's it. And here's my 14 gauge wire. This is what I'm going to be using for the sub. That's it. Let's get to work. Here's some of the tools that I'm going to be using on this project. Here we have some plastic pry tools to remove our plastic trim panels. Phillips head screwdriver. You need a 10mm wrench so you can remove your battery posts. 1/4 inch ratchet, 10mm socket, 8mm socket. I know I'm going to use this extension, 1/4 inch extension, so I can get down in the center console. What do we have here? We have a 3/8 ratchet with a 17mm socket. Those are going to be for the seat bolts. And I also have a pick tool here in the event that I need it for removing any kind of plugs. So that's what I have. Let's move on. First things first, get yourself a 10mm ratchet, wrench, or socket and remove the battery terminals. If you're like me and you will be removing any of the seats, you have airbag connectors underneath the seats, and you do not want to remove those with your battery connected. You will be asking for a world of trouble. Now, some people just remove the negative side of the battery. Me, I'm going to remove both, just to be on the safe side. Here we go. I am not in a rush to get this project done, as I have a second vehicle, so I'm going to take my sweet time with this. Okay, we're headed to the front of the passenger side seat, and we got to remove these covers. Okay, that's going to expose the seat bolts. So I think I'm just going to grab these by hand. All right, let me see if I can get these. Oh, this one's got a better angle. All right, just grab it by hand. Okay, that's it. Pop right off. Didn't break anything. They just kind of clip onto these metal ears you see on the side there. All right, I'm going to do the same with this one. Okay, there we go. Pops right off. Didn't break anything. Okay, that goes to the side, and that exposes the seat bolts. And these are the front seat bolts. Okay, at this point, all 4 bolts are removed, and this seat should be loose and ready to pop out, with the exception of all the plugs that need to be undone. Here we go. Okay, there we see. Here's all your airbag connections, and some of those connections are going to have to be removed. Okay, so right now I have the seat propped up with this pole that I have here, and it's just holding up the seat so I can get to the connectors. Now, let me just show you here. We're going to need to remove 3 connectors. These 2 yellow ones and this white one back here. And of course, we have a strap right here, which I'm going to undo. I'm not going to remove the strap from the seat. I'm just going to release the clip and undo the strap, and I'll probably do the same with this one. And if I can't do that one, I'll just remove the entire clip. But let me get you a closer look in here. Okay, so these airbag clips can be very tricky, only because they're like a tamper resistant clip. So they just don't press down and release like some of the other ones, like that white one will. Where is it? Back here. Like this guy right here. So let me show you. This one here has a black collar that you pull that way up, and it will remove the clip. Let's see if I can do this here. Okay, there it is. I can feel it sliding up, and there's a clip. And let me flip it around. There's the collar. So what I did was I pushed this guy up, and it's spring loaded. Okay, that's one. This one here, this white clip right there, it's also spring loaded, and we're going to pull that one up as well. And as we do that, the plug should release. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, let me show you here. Yeah, it's spring loaded. And so that's how you remove these guys. That one, straightforward. Where is it? This guy here, straightforward. Just has a pin, push down. There it is right there. Push, pull this, pull the cable. There, straight out. No big deal. Now I'm just going to undo these straps. This one here, and this one, and this entire cable should come right off. And I should be able to remove the seat. Okay, there we have it. The seat is officially removed. So, what do we have here? We have a quarter. We have a dog biscuit. Some dog hair. I don't own a dog. This must have been from the previous owner. We have an Advil, a hot tamale. Alright. Moving forward. Okay, so here I am on the driver's side, which is pretty much a mirror image of the passenger side. You guys saw me pop off that rear panel. This was identical. And I wish I would have been recording, because this is what I found. The original Honda remote control that I never got with the car when I purchased it. It was stuffed way up in that little crevice, way back in there. So this is one of the treasures. Look at that. Pretty cool. So that's it. That's all I did so far on this side. And now we're going to move over to the front. I'm probably going to stop short now because, as I mentioned, I am in Florida, and look at that. It is about to downpour. So let me see if we can at least get the front done. Okay, so the front was straightforward. Same caps as the passenger side. They basically clip in from the sides. They both came off fairly easy. There's one, there's two. I was about to take the bolt off. But again, 17 millimeter. So far, all I've used for tools on this project is my pry bar, 17 millimeter, and the 10 millimeter for the battery. Oh, and this little pick tool just to remove the clips from the harness. But let me get back to it.